I'm excited to actually share this with you. I had a phone conversation with a lawyer who turned out to be very knowledgeable about how some bad women manipulate and sabotage their husbands and maybe male partners, not just husbands. And the information he shared was seriously eye-opening, even for me as a male survivor of domestic violence, with all that I thought I'd seen with a narcissistic ex-partner. What he shared with me really took me to another level of understanding. This gentleman is gifted. He has a passion for this. Like he said it's a burden. He wants to really help men. So if you are a man listening to me right now and you are on the receiving end of any form of abuse from women like those that we describe in this my network, then I urge you to reach out using the email address on the screen so that I can link you up with him, because I do believe you have to consult him, of course, but my point is he offers value. This is something I'm doing it. There's no strings attached. The only reason why I don't want to, of course, put up his information up front is because I don't have his consent to do that, one, and I don't even think it's in his best interest to do that either. So if you want to get across to him, reach out to me through the email address on your screen, any of them, and I will link you up with him after checking with you on what exactly the nature of your interest is. For now, let me just take you through these excerpts I think are worth sharing in a video and PDF format. The PDF is available for you to download if you send me an email at the email address on your screen. I'll send you that PDF along with his details once I verify who you are, what your interests are, what your needs are, and all of that. So the title I've chosen to give it is How Bad Women Sabotage Their Unsuspecting Husbands. Unmasking Women Who Undermine Their Men. This is basically the theme on which he and I spoke when I consulted him. Like I said, I really think this gentleman has a gift, and I think he can help a lot of people. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at how I can work with him behind the scenes to help him blow up his brand using a lot of web marketing. Alright, so the first bit of insight I picked up, and he was so spontaneous. It was clear that this guy was driven. He's really passionate about this. So he said there are people like that, because I was describing, of course, my own ex-partner and the challenges I had with her. And he said they thrive in an atmosphere that they create, in which they set the man up. Sometimes the man is naive, and I was naive. And a lot of what this man said described exactly the psychological process my ex-partner took me through before she began to really damage me, right? So ignorantly, the man plays along without knowing it, in an atmosphere of lack, atmosphere of suffering. I was lucky that this was not exactly my experience, in the sense that she didn't end up being the provider, trying to make herself look like a savior. But what the man is saying here is that some women do that. So in that atmosphere, according to him, they become the provider. They use that situation to then manipulate the kids, let them experience pain and suffering. They will now be the one the woman will now be the one that will now provide succor, right, in their own manipulative way. So they get the results, making the man look useless. So they are now the ones that look like they rescue everybody. They rescue the children, rescue even the man, and so they effectively emasculate the man. All right. So there are some of them like that, according to him, that induce that kind of atmosphere to make it look like the man is irresponsible. Okay, that's what you will tell in the world behind your back as the man. Yeah. So no matter how responsible the man is, these kind of people, no matter how responsible a man is, what they do is to try to create a kind of environment, or according to him, they behave like drama queens. They take advantage of the situation to paint you as the man black. And most time the problem is that the men do not know. That's what he was saying. So like I said, I'm reading the exact words he said. I'm just not reading them verbatim, but I wrote them verbatim, so you will be able to read them if you get this PDF. Now he said, you will not know as the man that it is set up. She has her audience. So even as you're living in a community, what this man is saying is that these ladies, when they go out, particularly when they put you in a situation where maybe things are challenging for you, they're not able to provide you, it's a time of lack for you, so they will present it to you like they are going to be helpful. Not all women are like that, but these bad women are like that. So they make it look like they want to help out, but while they are doing that and telling you, oh honey, take care and blah blah blah, let me do this, on the outside with other people behind your back, they are actually telling people that they are the ones doing it and making you look like you are irresponsible, making you look bad. So you will think they've got you covered, but they will actually be exposing you and discrediting you and effectively emasculating you in public, but without your knowledge. So she has her audience, according to him, a permanent audience that she's doing that drama for, but you will not know. She will just be doing, I'm reading now, she will just be doing some things in your presence like this. She'll be playing on your intelligence in your presence, and you will not understand what she's doing. Please understand, this gentleman is also a single father, and I tell you, he has handled several cases that he has told me about. He obviously has seen the antics of these ladies up close, so he knows what he's talking about. Say, but her audience, they know what she's doing. She will be using you indirectly to validate what she has told them about you. Believe me, this was done to me, this particular one. So it didn't have to do with the provision of money, because I've always been able to provide to a great extent. She wasn't able to provide at all most times. So, but the thing is, definitely the other aspects where she had talked about it to people in public, I discovered later on that that's what she had been doing. So you will not know she's doing it. You will think she's just making offhand comments. She was just trying to indulge them, to win their hearts, and in indulging them, destroying them. So now this here is referring to the children. He said that they will be talking to the kids about you and what they are doing, but they will overlook the children's fault and the children's naughty habits, because she will want to make the children, love her more than they love you. So, and indulging them in the process, she effectively is destroying them. So it's a destructive thing according to him. So, all right, let me just reiterate again, at the risk of stating the obvious. We know, I'm sure you all know, watching this, that it's not all women that behave this way. We're saying that there are some bad women that do it, but they're actually not in small numbers. They're actually large numbers of them that are doing it. This guy has shared several stories with me that show that the women that do this and think like this, and like I said, they're not in few numbers. So this is why it's important for us to spread the word. Men need to tell men this, and some men keep thinking that they are above this, and many of them are actually on the receiving end of it. They don't even know, and then it's at the last minute they find out. Some of them even get poisoned and killed, like Jane Felix Ogbonna has been saying. So we need to wake up, men, and let's come together and begin to help each other to learn these things. And the young men, let's teach them these things so they choose right, and they also know what to look for by the time they get into relationships with these women. Right now, so just let me continue to the end now. He said people like that, he's talking about this kind of women, they have a way of sweeping you off your feet. They have that passion, that will deceive men. It's the thing, there's this enchanting quality about them. There's a way they carry themselves and the way they interact with members of the opposite as men that kind of gets men off their guard. I agree with him on this. So he said, now they have deep within them, they have the violent side to them. Many of them do, many of them do, but it doesn't come out immediately. What they present to you is the one that is the lovable version of themselves. So he said that violent nature, that negative part, okay, before you see that negative aspect, what you see is the passion or the enchanting aspect of them, and you get carried away. By the time you now see the negative aspect, it literally destroys the man. It's destructive according to him. And like I said, I agree with him on this. He said he was not going to tell his story. Instead, he shared his story. There's one like that, the woman. There's one like that, the woman. She would break. She did the same thing like my ex-partner, because I was telling him about how my ex-partner used to break things a lot and all that. And he said, oh, there's this woman, she did the same thing. She would break glasses, windscreen of the car, windows. But if you heard her story, if she told you there's her story, you would think the man is the devil. He said she was the one who filed for divorce. She spoke as if the man was physically abusive and things like that. So when they were now separated, she was trying to manipulate the man, thinking that by filing for divorce, it should make the man beg her. Unfortunately, it didn't work that way. So I'm just reading out, I'm paraphrasing as I'm reading his transcript. So now the man filed for, I think what he called it, I didn't hear him well, but I thought it sounded like cross petition. So the children were now in the school, put them in school, and he said the man and the woman were now flexing muscles, and all that. The way when there's conflict between the couples. So he said one of the kids who happened to be a girl was now staying with the woman. That one, she refused to release that one. When she was now put in school, all right, when the woman now put the girl in school, she was now telling that one that, look, I don't know how I'm going to pay money for your school fees. So she was trying to create an atmosphere. That's the thing he was talking about, the atmosphere they create of lack that makes them now look like a savior. They now come and get the money and then make themselves look like they saved the day that the man couldn't provide. She said, you know what? He said, you know what the girl told the mother? I asked him, what did the girl say? Yeah. The girl told the mother, tell my daddy now, my daddy will pay. The girl was just clued up. She knew. She didn't allow herself to get bamboozled by the mother. He said because she knew her daddy had been paying. So it was when the mom took over, the mom now wanted to create an atmosphere that the man had stopped paying and was trying to now create a situation in which you say, look, oh, I'm having to struggle to pay this thing because your daddy is no longer paying. So the girl said, tell my daddy. He said, as he was speaking to me now, he said that girl had returned to her father to stay with her father. Now he said the thing is, a lot of men, right, women will propose to them, when in my case that was not the case. My woman didn't have the means to take over my responsibility in quote, so she can't brag about that. But the thing is, he was saying that for some men who have the resources or who are able to get it, that's something they do. They propose to the man that let me start doing it. If the man accepts, they then use it against the man later because they have an end game, which is what he called it. He said they have an end game in mind where the goal is to allow the man to make the mistake of not doing those things that normally he should have been responsible for, because they said let me do it. And then later on, when there's conflict and they want to make a case that he's not been meeting up his own and therefore he cannot claim any rights, they will now use that as evidence. But he wouldn't know that that's what the plan was. Okay, so he said whenever his own clients call him and ask him, the woman is saying I should not bother to do this anymore, he said no, continue doing it. He said he will always tell them, keep doing it, don't stop doing it. He said because they will start counting it, then later the man would realize it was a trap. So he said when the woman, because what she would then do is then throw up some kind of drama, start some drama. They are drama queens typically, and when she will now get angry, say she doesn't want to have a relationship again, and then she wants to take the child, and you are trying to say no, I've been playing my role and it's my right to have the child also. I want to have access to the child. And then they will speak with the child and say, I'm the one that's been doing all those things for you, he wasn't providing any money, I was the one using my own money. And then they still use it in court as well, okay, which will now get the court's sympathy. The man will now be made to look like an irresponsible man. Meanwhile, he will be saying, but she told me not to bother, and she would deny saying that, and so the guy will now look bad, so you look irresponsible. And so sometimes, according to him, they try to lure you to that kind of corner where they encourage you not to do something that normally you're supposed to be doing. Don't ever accept it, right? Because once you stop that, they go into court, they use it against you, and you lose out. So honestly speaking with this gentleman, I think we must have spoken for over 2 hours. I got a lot of massive reorientation. I thought I knew and understand what had been done to me, but believe me, he helped me to achieve a much higher level of understanding. This gentleman is gifted, and I think he can help a lot of men. If you are struggling in a relationship with a partner who is abusive, who is manipulative, who is exploitative, and you are looking for a way to get equal leverage, this guy can help you. He understands the game. He himself is a single father, and he has been through it, and he has seen many clients go through it. He has told me stories that show that he understands it. He understands the game the women are playing. This guy can help people, and I'm going to work with him for us to really help people in my network. Okay, but for now, I've just done this because I think this information he shared with me is worth putting out there in the public right now before I can even forge any partnership with him going forward. All right, if you have any questions, if you need his help, just use the email address on the screen. Get across to me with your email address and your phone number, your WhatsApp phone number, and whatever question you have. I'll send you a PDF copy of this transcript, and I will also get your information across to him. He will decide if he wants to contact you. I don't have any business. I'm not a middleman. My aim is just to facilitate the relationship, because I think it's best that I connect people with somebody like this, because I know he has your interest at heart. He's my client. I'm his client. I'm paying for his services, so this is no joke. So I'm telling you based on what I'm doing with my own money, this guy can help you. If you are a man in trouble with women, I beg you, contact this guy. Get across to me and I'll link you up. Cheers.